It's your day in tech history, and it's brought to you by our friends over at Expedia.com, where you can find yours with Expedia. Hey everybody, Jeffrey Powers here, and I welcome you to the Day in Tech History at dayintechhistory.com. It's part of the Tech Podcast Network. You can subscribe via iTunes, Zune, or Stitcher Internet Radio. Our Twitter is Day in Tech Hist, and all show notes are on the wiki page if you want to follow along. Now let's find out what happened on this day, your day in tech history.
And on October 7th, 1849, and my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor, shall it be lifted nevermore. Edgar Allan Poe passes away at about 5 a.m., 4 days after being found in Baltimore, Maryland gutter. That's where you should be. Nevermore, right? 1954, IBM displays a large all-transistor calculator and needs about only 5% of the power of comparable electronic ones of the time. 3 years later, 1957, IBM would introduce the IBM 608, the first all-transistor commercial calculator. And my area code. 1968, the Motion Picture Association of America introduces its code of self-regulations for cinema films. They announced the G rating, the M rating, R, and X. G for general, M for mature, R is for restricted, and X is for 16 only. PG wasn't until the 70s, and PG-13 wasn't until the early 80s, if I remember correctly. 1971, 3 product announcements were made by IBM. The 3410 magnetic tape subsystem, the IBM 2596 card read punch, and extension of the 96-column punch card to the IBM System 360 and 370. In 1983, the Macintosh Introduction Plan, which is a list of popular developers and celebrities that were invited to beta test the Mac, is written. In 1988, the first round of the Computer Bowl, which is an annual televised game show of computer trivia pitting gurus of the East versus wizards of the West, was held. Mitch Kapor and Bill Joy were the MVPs. They won a place on the All-Star team. Talk about that in the sports locker room all the time. 1991, Mediagenic files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. It would eventually be merged back into the Activision name. In 1997, Sun Microsystems takes legal action against Microsoft for shipping Internet Explorer 4.0 with a non-standard implementation of the Java programming language. Sun files a breach of contract lawsuit in U.S. District Court in California. In 1998, Sony Computer Entertainment of America supervised the destruction of 40,000 pirated games on compact discs. Paraguay-bound shipments from Taiwan to Singapore were uncovered by the United States Custom Inspectors.
And now this word from our friends over at Expedia. Las Vegas, Jamaica, San Francisco, China, New York, Portland, Florida. Have you been? Maybe you're from there and you need to start planning your trip home for the holidays. Now is the time to do that. With rates at their lowest for November and December, you can get great deals in planning your trip. That's where Expedia comes in, from air travel, hotels, cars, and full vacation packages. Because who doesn't want to be in a warm city during the coldest of winters? You can also earn Expedia points so you can use them on more trips all around the world. Get $25 off your first hotel booking at Expedia. Go over to geekazine.com/Expedia for more details. Over at Expedia, find yours. Now let's get back into your day in tech history.
In 2001, Jeff Herrings of the Renegade Bulletin Board System software announces that he will cease work on the project and declares the lineage dead. Nevermore. In 2002, Palm announces its first Zire handheld computer featuring a 16 MHz Motorola Dragonball EZ processor, 2 MB of RAM, 2 MB of ROM, the Palm OS 4.1, and a 160 by 160 pixel monochrome screen. $99, and it weighed about 3.6 ounces. In 2003, a disgruntled Philadelphia Phillies fan is charged with hacking into computers, triggering spam email attacks. Also in 2003, Nokia releases the N-Gage handheld video game system featuring a 104 MHz ARM processor, 64 megabytes of RAM, and a 4096 color display. A whole bunch of other features for $300. Also in 2003, Yahoo acquires Overture Services to provide Yahoo search marketing products. In 2007, MSNBC purchases Newsvine. And in 2008, the Supreme Court denies a push by Samsung to require memory chip designer Rambus to pay its attorney fees for a dismissed patent infringement case. It was a long, drawn-out case between Rambus and Samsung. Also in 2008, a federal jury in Virginia rules that cable provider Cox Communications did not infringe on Verizon Communications patents related to internet telephony. VeriSign also sells off its 49% share of Jumbo to VeriSign's partner News Corp for $200 million. So News Corp became the major power of Jamba. Jamba basically makes ringtones. Virgin Galactic declines an offer from a porn producer to shoot zero-gravity sex. He was willing to pay $1 million for the first movie shot into space. Insert your joke here. And finally, Google doesn't launch a porn site, but it does launch AdSense for games.
And in 2009, Virgin Mobile announces a new mobile navigator. The GPS service would debut on the LG Rumor 2. And Google adds formatted PDF in their Quick View option on their search page. And that's your Day in Tech History. My name is Jeffrey Powers, www.dayintechhistory.com. All the show notes are over at wikizine.com, Geekazine's wiki. And of course, you can like the Facebook page and follow Twitter at Day in Tech Hist. Until tomorrow, take care. Day in Tech History is copyright 2014 JMP Enterprise and Geekazine.com.